Good morning, Pilgrim. This morning, oh, look at there. Beautiful yellow and black birds. Goldfinches. You ever seen goldfinches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 goldfinches on the perch and above my feeder out there. It's going to make it a beautiful day. They came in about 3 weeks ago, and there's just more and more of them all the time. Oh, everybody ought to feed their birds. Have a yard full of them, full of the beauty of God. Anyway, let's get to the Bible here. 2 Chronicles 34:1. I'm going to go down through 7. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, and he walked in the ways of David his father. And he did not turn aside to the right or to the left. For in the 8th year of his reign, while he was yet a boy, he began to seek the God of David his father. And in the 12th year he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem of the high places, the Asherim, and the carved and the metal images. And they chopped down the altars of the Baals in his presence. And he cut down the incense altars, all that stood above them. And he broke in pieces the Asherim, and the carved and the metal images. And he made dust of them, and scattered it over the graves of those who had sacrificed to them. He also burned the bones of the priests on their altars, and cleansed Judah and Jerusalem. And in the cities of Manasseh, Ephraim, Simeon, and as far as Naphtali, in their ruins all around. He broke down the altars, and beat the Asherim and the images into powder, and cut down all the incense altars throughout all the land of Israel. Then he returned to Jerusalem. And he had a great teacher. 5th of May, preached the 4th of May, 1858. The Sunday school teacher, a steward. Well, give an account of thy stewardship, reads Luke 16:2. I see nothing in the Bible that should lead me to believe that the office of the preacher is more honorable than that of the teacher. It seems to me that every Sunday school teacher has a right to put Reverend before his name as much as I have. Or if not, if he discharges his trust, he certainly is a right honorable. He teaches his congregation and preaches to his class. I may preach to more and he to less, but still he is doing the same work, though in a small sphere. I am sure I can sympathize with Mr. Carey when he said of his son Felix, who left the missionary work to become an ambassador, Felix has dribbled into an ambassador, meaning to say that he was once a great person as a missionary, but that he had afterwards accepted a comparatively insignificant office. So I think we may say of the Sabbath school teacher, if he or she gives up his work because he cannot attend to it on account of his enlarged business, he drivels into a rich merchant. If he forsakes his teaching because he finds there is much else to do, he drivels into something less than he was before, with one exception. If he is obliged to give up to attend to his own family, and makes that family his Sabbath school class, there is no driveling there. He stands in the same position as he did before. I say, those who teach, they who seek to pluck souls as brands from the burning, are to be considered as honored persons. Second, far below him from whom they received their commission, of course, but still in some sweet sense lifted up to become fellows with him, with Christ. For he calls them his brethren and his friends. No, never look down on working with children. Never look down on Sunday school teachers. Never look down on mothers. It's a serious responsibility to teach the children the things of God. James 3, 1 and 2. Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. For we all stumble in many ways. And if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he's a perfect man, able also to bridle his whole body. Yeah, it's a responsibility, thank God for the privilege, and ask him to make you a faithful steward. 1 Corinthians 4:2. Moreover, it is required of stewards that they be found faithful. You know, this word reverend, it was not applied to preachers or teachers until the 15th century. There was probably a reason for that. I got to tell you of an event that I preached in a little church. I wasn't a pastor. I was a preacher. I was a lay preacher. Because there was no preacher, they called me. So I preached there for better than a year. This was way back in 95, 96. Anyway, leaving, standing in the vestibule after the sermon, after the church was over, people were leaving. I always shook hands with folks as they were leaving. It was the duty, of the preacher. Anyway, this visiting lady, she left, she shook my hand, and she says, "Beautiful sermon, Reverend." That made me cringe. I'm nothing special, folks. Never have been. Never want to be thought of as something special. But I guess the word reverend is okay, although I don't feel I would ever deserve it. It merely means revered, thought well of. Thought well of. Well, you can think well of me, but I don't deserve it. Anyway, enough of that. Read your Bible, folks. Do something to get the gospel out. Study your Bible hard. You don't have to go to seminary. Nobody has to go to seminary or to Bible college and get ruined. In today's seminaries and Bible colleges, there might be one or two out there that are really preaching and teaching the gospel. But let me tell you, they're few and far between. Few and far between. So if you send your children there, check them out well, and pray hard for your children that they don't become like what you see on the TV and what you see in these big churches. Teach the children. Well, God bless, Pilgrim. Have a blessed day.